Okay, we're here with my grandpa, Mr. David Westman Wick, and we just wanted to get a couple back stories from World War II, just for our family heritage. How did you get into the Navy?
I
What led you
volunteered.
to
Volunteered.
you volunteered?
Oh yeah. 1940. I was hungry. I was living in San Francisco. Worked for Western Union. Got laid off. So I worked in a Greek restaurant down there. 4 hours a day for a meal. One meal a day. He fed me good. I saw ships out on the bay there, and I says, "Hey, them Navy ships, they got food on them, and I'm going to get some of it." So I did. So I tried to get my dad to sign up. He wouldn't sign for me. So I
Was
went
he
down.
afraid for your safety, or what do you think
No,
the reasoning was? He just
just flat ass mean. So I just went down and talked to the chief of police, Al Leroy. He was chief of police in the Antioch Police Department. So turned around, I told him what happened, and he says, "Get in the car." He put the chief, assistant chief in charge. He drove me down to San Francisco, Federal Building on Golden Gate Avenue. Signed me up, took me in there, says, "Either you put him in the Navy or put him in juvenile hall." So they put me in the Navy. January 25th, 1940.
how old were you?
16.
So what do they do with a new recruit at that time? Do you have to do some kind of physical or basic training, or what do
Oh,
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
We had 3 months, 3 months of training. Later during the war, when the war broke out, they changed to 6 weeks. But we had 3 months of it. And then they transferred us to, well, some guys went to their ships, and the rest of us, while we was waiting for transportation, went to the destroyer base down in the southern part of San Diego. And there we waited around until they transported us to our ships. That's when they put me on the nitro ammunition ship, went north, or went around through the Panama Canal to Guantanamo Bay. Well, the ship wasn't there, so we went back through the canal, went to Pearl Harbor. And there was no one there, so we brought back to San Diego, then back, I went on the USS Pyro, another ammunition ship, back through the Panama Canal to Cuba, Guantanamo Bay, and back, finally back to San Diego, and then over to Pearl Harbor from San Diego. I was on Lexington there for about 3 months. And the summers didn't come back, so Lexington was getting ready to go out to sea. They transferred us off, put us on the Pyro, and sent us back to San Diego, which we also went to Guantanamo Bay. That's
So
where we,
that was your third time back to
fourth,
Guantanamo?
fourth time.
Okay.
So they took us in there, and they put us on the War Eagle, the sister ship, destroyer. And same type as I was going to the summers. So they put me on there, and warned us was going out to jogger practice, so they loaded us up. Took us with them. Went out there, done target practice on the way out. As we went out the outlet there, well, Summers came in. So we went out to see and we done our target practice. Came back in, and just as we coming back in, here comes the Summers out. So they stopped right there, right in the middle of the entrance there to Guantanamo Bay, transferred us
An entire
from the
crew,
Warrington,
or
from the Warrington to the Summers. And then from there we went to Puerto Rico. And then Puerto Rico we went up to, Puerto Rico. We went back to Guantanamo Bay. Then we went to, what the hell's the name of that place there? Cuba. We went there for 4th of July. And then we left out of there, went to Puerto Rico again, and then we went out started on neutrality patrol. Neutrality patrol was catch all these German ships hauling war materials, rubber, what have you, tires and so on, to already manufacture tires. The tires were made in the United States, truck tires. So we captured the one ship, Odenwald, took her in. By the time the courts took their fair share and everybody else got their fair share, each one of the crew on the Summers got $85 each. Prize money, prize of the sea, they call it.
a considerable amount, I would think, for.
Well, I know, but we should have got a hell of a lot more. The courts took a lot more. Look at that ship would have been worth.
Yeah.
That was diesel.
What was on board?
They had rubber tires, and we picked up a lot of them. Rubber tires and all kinds of other liners, inner tire liners.
What happened to the crew?
Took them into captivity.
Was there some kind of holding cells on board the Summers that you could keep them in temporarily until?
We just put them in one of the compartments and blocked it off.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't going no place anyhow. Because where were they going to go?
Was there
at sea.
Was there any
So we.
opposition? I mean, how easy was it? How easy was it to?
Well, it was actually history was made there when a modern steam-powered destroyer had to use the power of sail to help get it back into port. We overstayed the use of our fuel, chasing her. So we used all the gun oil and grease and everything, throw it in the boiler and burned it. So we could get back into Trinidad. The old chief there, he'd holler, "Get that line over, get that line over, get that pipe over, get that pipe over." And trying to get the fuel line aboard. He's, "I'm running out of oil, I'm running out of fire." So.
Who was a captain at that time?
Mitzel.
Mitzel?
M-I-T-Z-E-L. He later turned out to be commander of the destroyer divisions in the North Atlantic. He became Commodore.
Did you have any interaction with him one-to-one, or what was his temperament, or what kind of person was he?
Oh, he's a beautiful person. Nice guy. Real nice guy. I was on standing guard duty down in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We was tied up the oil dock there. Him and a lieutenant were coming back. First, one big lieutenant coming back from shore. I don't know where they've been. Probably where the rest of us went. And I hollered halt. I was on guard duty. And halt. They didn't halt. So I said, you better stop or I'm going to shoot your ass off. So he hired me on his bodyguard, but Captain Mitchell did. So every place he went, I had to get a machine gun and Lagerns, go with them, whites.
They used the bar at that point, the Browning?
Huh?
They used a Browning automatic rifle?
Oh, we had the old type, yeah,
Okay,
old type Brownings. The cylinder
right.
box. And with them, and then we got through all our other stuff there. Running we ran that convoys into England. We ran the menus from Halifax, Nova Scotia. We ran those 300 ships into Minsk over through the Arctic Circle.
Reinforcements for the Russian...
Supplies for the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
Gas, diesel oil, and all kinds of munitions, and boots and clothing, and everything.
How would they then transfer it from that port? Was there a train depot there, or
I don't
by
know
truck?
what was on the beach there, because they had quite a few docks down where they were loading and unloading the ships. Now, where we was at the oil docks, it was hard for us to see anything, because they isolated it, in case of fire,
Right.
wouldn't burn the town down. We didn't get no liberty there. We made our rounds and wound up coming back to the States and going to Norfolk there, unload torpedoes. Captain got his orders there, report to the commandant for the destroyer division. Marty's got the picture in there in that box there. You'll see the picture. Got a little goatee, a little mustache.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was pretty. He had wavy hair, little hairline mustache. He built real stocky. But he was a nice guy. I guess he was just as tough a guy as he was nice.
A good sailor?
You betcha he was. He knew what the hell he was doing. He used to be so mad at Omaha. See, Omaha took credit for the captivity of 2 ships. One ship that we took into captivity, the Odenwald. And that's the one that we caught that before. Yeah, just before the war. And then we caught the other one after, what that was, it was another one there, but they scuttled it. We couldn't save it. They blew the whole steering engine out of it. She sank by stern. Oh, it was sad to see, because she was a real beautiful ship. And of course, then we went back to our convoy duties.
The Westerland?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There was another, Wilmoto was the one, the Odenwald. They call it the Wilmoto. They even had it registered under the American flag.
Yeah.
And the other one there, she was German strictly, and she was running. She was running from us. She could almost outrun us too. But they had to give up because we started to put shots into her. Oh,
What was your primary job during
stop
that?
Stop her from supplying.
No, you individually, what
Oh, I
were
was on
you
the
doing?
boarding party.
You were on the boarding party.
on a boarding party, yeah. My,
What is,
my station was to go to the steering engine for the boarding party. But the steering engine, there was no steering engine, they blew the whole thing out of that ship. So
did you
was on
see,
there, was looking things over, trying to get the torpedo boat off there. It was like built like a yacht, beautiful thing. But they had electric locks in the keel, and they killed the generators. They couldn't unlock it. The lock. German officer stood there, locked. He says, "You'll never get it loose." He says, "Electric locks," and he says, "The generators are gone." He says, "She'll go with the ship." Boy, I mean, it was hard to see that because it was so beautiful. About a 60-footer. It's a torpedo boat, actually. Fast, 3 engines. So we picked up what was left of the crew, but the Omaha being what they call SOP, Senior Officer President Afloat. They took all the credit for all the captivities. And we done the dirty work. They're sitting out there floating around, covering us with their guns. So,
so they scuttled, and then,
she
What-
sank.
okay.
That was a funny thing. That ship, she was on board her, and also we noticed she was starting to go backwards. So, the German officer says, "You people better get off her," he says, "because pretty soon she'll be going so fast backwards, you won't be able to get off her." So we got hold of the chief and says, "Get in the boat, get in the boat." So we got back in the boat. Went back, I was headed back to the Summers. She went, she started going like hell, just like she was under power. It kept on going backwards. But as she's going backwards, she was going down. Pretty soon she stopped and she raised her bow up like this. She went, bounced up a couple of times, then she went down underwater, completely out of sight. And just like a big whale, came up over halfway, sat there and shook, and then she went back down real slow, kept on going.
Where about, this is in the Atlantic somewhere? Or?
Atlantic, yeah. South Atlantic. Yep. It was a beautiful ship. So I got pictures of it home. You know, you can have them if you want them.
When you, how many people were on the boarding party?
Oh, I'd say
Was-
about 12 of us.
12, okay. And then multiple parties?
Huh?
Multiple boats?
No,
Or
one
just the
motor
single-
wheel boat. One motor wheel boat,
Okay.
yeah.
So 12 guys on one motorboat went over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, his motor wheel boat, 26 foot long. So,
It-
it was pretty
How high
big.
is the deck on the ship though? I mean, how do you get from, you throw up
They
a,
had the gangway down,
well, they had the gangway down.
because they were getting off too. So then they had another boat come over, when they saw how many crew there was, they sent another boat over, and they were loading them in the one boat, and then they had another boat there to pick us up. Same thing. One was the motor wheel boat, the other was the captain's gig. So,
Were they soldiers or were they just
Sailors.
merchant? Okay.
civilian sailors. Yeah.
And German nationals.
And there some of them were military. You know, on all their, most of their ships, they had some military. So we got them taken care of. But we took that Odenwald. We was taking her up there, But we had to go into Trinidad to get fueled up because we was run out of oil. We did always use a big canvas between the bridge, the smokestack, as the sail pushed it along 3 knots. And our screws were just barely turned over, giving us a couple more knots. So we had about 5 or 6 knots of push.
The smoke.
We didn't cook. We conserved steam. We didn't cook. We didn't take baths. Took saltwater baths. Of course, the water warm, you know, down in the tropics. We take saltwater baths, eat cold stuff, then you make coffee for about 2 weeks till we got into port. We couldn't bring that Odenwald into Trinidad because if they did, the English government could claim it. She was a prize of the sea. If we took her into a foreign port, they'd claim it. So we took it to Puerto Rico. Or they had a couple other ships come down to escort her. It was still our prize. But under the circumstances, they had to get those other ships down there, take her in, because we was out of fuel, coming in on a sail. The other destroyer with us, they had to do the same damn thing. Or they were a little more fortunate. They had a little more oil on board, I guess.
Mm-hmm.